It's a Toyota and Lexus video. You guys know what that means. Today's video is going to be rated probably closer to PG-13 because there may be some heated conversations, as you guys know how fired up I get, especially when I talk about Lexus. No, God! Speaking of fire, the embargo has just ended on the highly anticipated and now well-received Toyota Venza. It's coming stateside this September, and Toyota now has a legit competitor to its very own Lexus lineup. The redesigned second-generation Lexus NX won't be out until fall of 2021, and it's possible this Venza could easily eat into the NX's and maybe even the RX's sales numbers, if there's enough volume around for the Venzas to go around. As we found out in my video earlier this week, the Harrier/Venza, but it's a Harrier in Japan, is on a 4 to 5 month waiting list. The Venza slots right between the current NX and RX in size, which is way more cargo space in comparison to both of them. But I truly expect the next NX to be a more plush, more versatile, and more powerful version of the Venza/Harrier when it comes out in the fall of 2021. And in today's video, we'll discuss what Lexus needs to do to its beloved NX crossover in order to put the Venza in its place and allow Lexus to pull away from the ever-improving Toyota. Welcome back, Luxurious Fleet. If you're new, my name is Kirk, and you can expect heaps of coverage on Japanese autos. Subscribe, hit the bell icon so you guys won't miss out on my upcoming videos. So the new Venza is incredible. I'll just say it. Am I biased? I don't know, but it's incredible. And the only complaint I've heard from reviewers is that it's priced maybe a little smidge high for this segment that it's in, and I'll debunk that here in a second, and that maybe it's a little underpowered compared to the competition, which I'll also debunk that one as well. And other than that, it's truly a Lexus-like experience compared to the similar RAV4. So let's get into all the features that amaze me about the new Venza, and then we'll see how it stacks up with the current Lexus NX, which it doesn't look good. We'll see how the new 2022 NX will stack up and leave it in its place. And did you guys hear that? There's actually a truck outside, but I'm not talking about that. You guys were definitely smashing the like button, so thank you so much. That helps my channel out just massively. You guys rock. State-of-the-art note-taking here, guys. The Venza has so much more cargo space than the RX. This is the old RX/Harrier, but the cargo space on the new Venza is 36 cubic feet compared to 17 on the NX. And the RX isn't much better. The RX only has 18 cubic feet. I had no idea how small they were. You would think, I do know a lot about Lexus. I don't know everything. And I couldn't believe that the Venza has double the amount of cargo capacity than the current NX and RX. That's unacceptable. Speaking of unacceptable, the NX also doesn't have a heads-up display here stateside. I believe you can get it elsewhere, but holy cow, you can get a 10-inch heads-up display, which also smokes the heads-up display in the RX currently. You can get in the higher trims, you get a 7-inch MID, which is a screen right behind the steering wheel, and that's really high def. It looks great. I've seen it in other Toyota products. We don't see a lot of cool technology behind the steering wheel on a Lexus. Most of them are very outdated at this point. So seeing a 7-inch MID on a high-spec Toyota is freaking cool. It has the frosty sunroof, guys. The Venza has this cutting-edge technology. It's called Stargaze, where you just flip a switch next to the sunroof controls and it makes it a frosted. It looks like it's frosted over. Like if there's frost, if you guys live in a warm climate, you might not know what I'm talking about. But if you live in a colder climate and you wake up and your windshield, if your car's parked outside, there's frost on the grass, there's frost on the windshield, but flick of the switch, you can frost out that pano sunroof, which, speaking of which, you can't get a pano sunroof on the current generation NX. It's a huge, huge head scratcher. Why they don't offer that here in the States, I've seen it in other markets, and it looks pretty cool, but alas, not for Americans. Now, the new Venza is really, really quiet. I could read the whole 2-3 paragraphs how Toyota put in all the sound dampening material. They have one big sheet to cover the floor instead of patchwork, which makes it more quiet. That's not what I'm going to talk about. What I am going to talk about, what does that mean compared to a Lexus? Alex on Autos, awesome reviewer. If you haven't checked out his channel, go ahead and do that. He just came out with a Venza video, and he says it's actually quieter than a Lexus NX, and it's a little bit louder than an RX 350 in comparison. So yeah, it's not a Lexus, but it's as quiet as a Lexus effectively. Price, guys. As I said earlier, some people think it's priced high for the segment, but when you compare it to a Lexus, and it beats the Lexus NX right now in just about everything, it is a steal for what you get. So the Limited is the top end grade. That with every single option ticked before incentives, so $43,100 MSRP, fully loaded with all sorts of goodies you can't even get on a Lexus NX. I'll talk more about that in a second when I break down everything. The Limited grade is the top end. The base grade is the LE, and that is a starting price of $34,000 roughly after destination. That is still a great deal for what you're getting, in my opinion. Now, I'm used to Lexus prices, but seeing what this is providing, for the price point, I can't recommend the current generation NX because of that. Miles per gallon. It gets 40 freaking miles per gallon with the 219 horsepower. We're gonna talk about powertrains more in a second, but miles per gallon, 40 miles per gallon, that matches the RAV4 hybrids. Now it's down on power compared to a Lexus NX. You look at the NX hybrid, it only has 195 horsepower. It's based on a previous generation of hybrid technology. How does Lexus survive compared to a Venza? Well, high-end Toyota shoppers also cross-shop Lexus if they're knowledgeable enough, and most of them are. But Lexus's only ace up their sleeve with this current NX is customer care. There's no doubt about it. There are good Toyota dealerships out there, but by and large, Lexus customer service is industry leading. They always have been for the last 30 plus years. So what about the upcoming redesigned Lexus NX? Well, the NX is already the second best selling crossover, I should say, entire vehicle for the Lexus lineup. Sorry, my wife just sent me a picture of my third born. She's trying to smile for the camera and it came out kind of derpy. But anyways, Lexus NX will have 6 powertrains. I can guarantee that 100% it's going to have 6 powertrains, at least for the American market. So I'm going to dive into what these powertrains are, what they could be priced at or should be priced at. And yeah, I just can't wait to get into it. Let's get over there. My cutting edge spreadsheet, Venza versus all. Okay, I have RAV4 options here, Venza right here. There's only one option as of now, unless they add a Prime, and that could make all of this really spicy. We have the current Lexus NX, and then the future NX is here, and then the current RX is here. So we know the Venza has 219 horsepower, just like the RAV4 hybrid. Totally loaded Venza Limited is a $43,000 vehicle. If you compare that to the current NX, and if you want to say equipment to equipment, even though the NX won't have the pano roof, the heads-up display, etc. If you want it similarly-ish equipped with the heated steering wheel, heated ventilated seats, on a hybrid NX, you lose efficiency, you lose 20 horsepower, and it still costs $4 or $5 grand more than the Venza. Now, incentives might be better because they need to move this car for that hybrid NX, if there's any in stock, because you know what's going on. But yeah, this current NX it cannot hold up against this Venza. This Venza is a full generation, if not more, what it feels like in front of this NX. Only way the NX holds up is if you're not looking at hybrids. If you look at the turbocharged version, which is 235 horsepower, right here you can see 235 horsepower. That is a little bit more, 15, 16 more than the Venza's hybrid, but fuel economy is going to be like 15 miles per gallon less. That's a trade-off. 15 horsepower for 15 miles per gallon. I will make that hybrid, and it's a more smooth experience too. There's no doubt about it. The hybrid, I can't recommend the NX really at either level, whether that's hybrid or the turbo compared to the Venza. I can't do it. Honestly, can't do it. But what about the next NX with its 6 powertrains? So let's get into what these 6 powertrains are. I just get so excited talking about it. NX 300 is going to have a front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive. And this is all this is all conjecture. Take this with a grain of salt because this could be wrong, but my gut is telling me, because I've thought a lot about this since I've had this information for a long time, I've been able to figure out what they're going to be called, but we don't know until it's unveiled probably about a year from now. So NX 300, they're going to carry over the current 2.0 four-cylinder turbo, the 8IR FTS, 235 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque engine. They're going to carry that over. That's going to be the base NX. It's going to have a front-wheel drive and an all-wheel drive. Okay, so there's two of your powertrains right there. You're going to have a front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive NX 350 with a 300-ish horsepower 2.4 liter turbo that's been rumored and talked about a long time for Lexus. And I believe this model, the NX 350, whether it's front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, I believe it could definitely be an F-Sport only. Why do I think that? Well, the IS 350, the 2021, that's coming out October-ish timeframe, the 350 is only F-Sport. So they have the base model, which is the 300, just like this NX. So they could have the base model NX, which is not an F-Sport. You can't get F-Sport package in the base model NX 300 or 300H. Then you would have the NX 350, which is the front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive setup. Then we have the range-topping NX 450H Plus. That is the RAV4 Prime's plug-in hybrid power plant. I could see it getting maybe 3 more horsepower. Let's call it 305 horsepower, so it'll have the range topping for the NX, unless they really want to boost that 2.4 liter, which they could. So what about pricing of this NX? Well, the current NX has priced itself to completely lose against the Venza the way it's equipped, okay? But the new NX coming out, which I really do think it's going to be a clone of the Venza, except draped in Lexus luxury and Lexus fit and finish and quality. Even though the Venza is really good, Lexus can do it a lot better. I've seen it done better, but I really do see the NX being like the flagship other than like the LC. I see it being the flagship for the brand. It will be bought in masses for the luxury market. This is the home run. But yeah, it will be on the TNGA-K platform with the Venza. It will be a much more nice version than the Venza, and it will have more powertrain options, more versatility with the equipment. I get so excited to get off track. Let's get back on track. $45,000 for not the base NX, I should say base model, I should say NX 300. Base model will probably be like $40,000, but the way it's equipped to compare with the Venza is probably going to be $45,000, maybe a little bit more depending on what kind of equipment you get on there. But let's say $45,000 with a premium navigation build, let's say that has 19-inch wheels, etc. $45,000 for the all-wheel drive NX 300, and then the NX 300H all-wheel drive, maybe a little bit more, $47,000. They upgrade the power plant, right? They upgrade it to the next generation, I should say, the newest generation, 219 horsepower there. Then you jump up to the NX 350. I could see this being, like I said, F-Sport only, $50,000 US dollars, and it could definitely come in a front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive variant. And you can see it's really pulling away from the Venza here, but at $50,000, I really expect it to have the frosty panel roof, the heads-up display, and it's rumored to have a 14-inch touchscreen in the higher levels of the NX. This is going to be the newest Lexus technology, maybe potentially ditching the remote touch interface, that touchpad, right? That a lot of people don't like. I don't mind it. I like it in a lot of situations, but I understand. So big tablet touchscreen. It will be the most similar that I see in the Toyota lineup would be the touchscreen in the Prius Prime. And that has a huge tablet-like, Tesla-like touchscreen. So I could see that definitely gaining a lot of traction on the Lexus end for their next generation multimedia interface. NX 450H Plus, this is just a guess, $53,000. It could definitely be more than that. Remember, Lexus doesn't have any plug-in hybrids, so you'd be able to qualify for the $7,500 tax credit, and then whatever your state has as well. I think where I live in Nebraska, I think it's $2,500. So you're talking about 10 grand off the price of an NX 450H Plus. What if I get one? Guys, what if I get one? I couldn't say no. How could you say no at that point? Let's say they stretch it to 55 grand for a fully loaded NX plug-in hybrid. It's still only 45 grand, and that's only $2,000 more after the credits and everything. It's only $2,000 more than the Venza. And then I have some RX comparisons here. The RX is not threatened by this vehicle, although I would potentially pick the Venza over an RX. I know they don't really compete in price, but in terms of cargo capacity, the RX can't keep up with the Venza. In terms of efficiency, can't keep up. In terms of next-gen technology, it's better than the NX, the RX is, but it's not as good as the Venza. So it could even lose some sales to the Venza for the next couple 2-3 years until the RX is redesigned. Okay, other than power plants and that big screen, what does the NX need to really set itself ahead of the Venza? Because it can't stop there. It really needs to take that next level technology and luxury approach. It needs to possibly incorporate self-driving technology. We're seeing that in the 2021 LS, but that's only for Japan. Maybe that's more of a test mule, like almost the Venza is a test mule for the upcoming NX. But what if that LS self-driving technology could be implemented in this cutting-edge NX? It's definitely possible. So that would be cool to see. It definitely needs to have everything that the Venza has. It needs to have the frosty panoramic roof. It needs to have the huge heads-up display. It has to have that big touchscreen, and it's got to have heated rear seats. This is something Lexus struggles with here in America. I don't get it. They force you to pay for like an obscure package that is not seen in the majority of markets just to get heated rear seats. It drives me nuts. You can't even get heated rear seats in an ES here. Avalon, no problem. You want heated rear seats in the Avalon? No problem. You want to pay for an ultra luxury ES in the United States? A $55,000 ES? Oh, don't worry about it. You don't even get the option of heated rear seats, guys. And that's why this video is PG-13, because if I get on a tangent about Lexus, and get a little saucy, but get away from the ES, get away from the ES, get away! Okay, 20-inch wheels. So the current NX can be had with 18-inch wheels. They offered 19-inch for a while in the Blackline edition for 2019 model year. Or was it the 2020? Whatever. They have those forged aluminum wheels that were pretty sick. We need to have 19s as an optional wheel, 20s as a range topping optional wheel, and then 18s as the base. And what else would you guys think Lexus needs to put on the 2022 NX redesign? The Venza is a good start, and I still think even when that NX comes out, because it's going to be priced like a luxury car, and I think the NX will be safe with the redesign from massive cannibalization from the Venza once it comes out. But I think that Venza is just a phenomenal freaking vehicle. The amount of equipment and technology you get and efficiency at that price point is redonkulous. Before I let you guys go, I could spend a little bit more time talking about some new Lexus updates, but I'll just screenshot it and fill you in. Price point of the new LC convertible has been set. It starts at $102,000, which is less than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like $108,000, $110,000. So that's good to see it just over $100,000. So definitely out of the price point for most people out there, but so is the normal LC. But it's just nice to have a convertible back in the Lexus lineup. And man, dream car one day. Cruising the streets down in Florida, back home for me. Well, I have two homes, Nebraska, Florida. But another update is that the RX, the 2021 RX, just got some updates for Japan. Don't know if these are going to be seen in America. Holy cow, guys, what do you guys think the NX needs to distance itself from the ever-improving Toyota? I think I laid out a pretty good list. If Lexus does that and then some, they're fine. If they do half of that, yikes. As always, thank you guys. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Peace out.